It comes as somewhat of a surprise to find the substantial pass in the otherwise flat and mostly featureless expanse of the Kalahari. It's located inside the Tswalu Game Reserve near Hotazel and traverses a break in a long ridge of mountains called the Koranaberge. The road condition ranges from good in some sections to terrible in others, so this pass should not be attempted without a four-wheel drive vehicle. We filmed this pass from north to south, in other words, in the direction from Hotazel towards Olifantshoek. There are no prominent features to distinguish the start of the pass, other than that this is the point where the road begins to incline slowly towards the low hills in front of you. As always, it's a good idea to deflate your tires, as this will aid traction on the soft sandy surface and will help to reduce the likelihood of a puncture when you reach the rocky track in the middle section of the pass up ahead. Perhaps the best place to do this is when you stop to open the entrance gate into the reserve. Keep an eye out for animals in between the two gates of the park. Tswalu is the largest private game reserve in South Africa, covering an area of over 1,000 square kilometers and has a huge game population of around 12,000 animals and more than 250 species of birds. After a long sandy section which curves gradually towards the left, you're suddenly presented with a sharp right-hand turn of 90 degrees at the 2.6 kilometer mark. The incline kicks up rapidly at this point and the road surface changes to a bumpy rocky track. This is followed by a sharp left-hand corner of 100 degrees and then by a very steep and tortuous climb with a gradient as steep as 1 in 6. Fortunately, the steep climb doesn't last very long and soon you'll reach the summit of the pass at the 3.2 kilometer mark just after negotiating a sharp 130-degree hairpin turn to the right. If you stop at this point, there are some great views if you look back over the terrain that you've just conquered towards the north and the west. In the reserve you could spot black maned lions, cheetah, wild dogs, hyena, rhino, or even the more elusive and exotic sightings like pangolin, aardvark, bat-eared foxes or rattles. Antelope species include sable, roan, kudu, and of course springbok, amongst many others. The reserve is owned by the Oppenheimer family. Hotazel has got to have one of the coolest town names in South Africa. It's said that the name came about when shortly after World War I, a bunch of land surveyors had a drinking session out on the Red Sands and whilst discussing the place over a glass of Cape Smoke brandy, decided that it was Hotazel. The name stuck, although the spelling was changed to make it more palatable in those more straight-laced times. Despite its exotic name, Hotazel does not have much to attract visitors, and the town exists mainly to service the many mines in the area. These consist primarily of manganese and sinter mines, but the ore also produces a wealth of rare well-crystallized minerals. A local character of Scottish origins named Scotty Smith was a well-known cattle thief, gun runner, lover of fine horses, dealer in illegal diamonds and a smuggler, but he was also a friend of the poor and became famous as the Robin Hood of the Kalahari. He was caught and sentenced several times for these crimes, but he always managed to escape and often claimed that no prison cell could hold him. The descent is at a much shallower angle than the ascent, and the road surface improves considerably as you wind your way down into a little valley between rocky hills and small clearings dotted about with Kalahari scrub bushes. Your heading is almost directly into the east at this point, but this soon changes as the road swings back towards the south through a long shallow right-hand curve. The gradient flattens out and the road follows a narrow valley through a port-like section, then gives way to large open plains populated with herds of game animals. A final gentle right-hand bend is followed by a short straight up to the 5.7 kilometer mark and the end of the pass.